like super relaxed today. Like my seat is back. I'm chilling. So if I seem far away, it's because I am. So basically today I wanted to talk about dating and courting. A lot of people think that courting is just like a old term for dating, like it's outdated. Dating outdated. Okay. Anyway. So basically dating is you still trying to get to know the person, you trying to figure out where it would go. It's still a romantic type of involvement, but and you can date just one person. That's a thing for all you out there who don't think that that's anyway. So it's a time where you can basically get to know the person, see if you can be around that person for a long period of time, things of that nature. Where courting is more of, I know exactly where this is going. We're going to get married. And right now we just working towards being in a position where we can do that. We're working towards learning each other so we can do that. It's not just, I'm trying to learn you to see if I would ever entertain that possibility. It's more of, nah, this what it is, gang, right? So, and I have my notes as always because I just be forgetting stuff, right? So basically, I've been reading Song of Solomon. Everybody think that that's just the sex book of the Bible, but it has a lot of good things in it. So I was reading the Song of Solomon, and basically, even with this video series, we started off with the attraction. When you first see the person and you're like, who is this holy person of God, right? And then it leads to the consideration of the person's character. How are they in ministry? How are their morals, their values, things of that nature? And then that leads to imagining a romantic relationship with this person. If all of that stuff aligns or whatever. And now that you have this initial attraction and you want to, start thinking about a romantic relationship, now you're like, okay, how can I spend more time with this person? How can we just sit around and just like be around each other? We ain't even got to do nothing. We can just be watching TV, not saying words, as long as I'm there and you there and we there and it's, right? So, basically, sometimes people decide to strictly do dating because I'm not saying all the time, sometimes they don't really like the commitment. You just have to be careful and be aware of the intentions of the people that you are dating, because some people use dating as a way to just have sex, have meaningless sex that doesn't involve any type of commitment. And I just want to say that this definitely perverts God's design for intimacy, because it's supposed to be between a man and a woman who are married. But I also want to say that if sex is supposed to basically amplify things in your marriage, let's think about what more can it do to two single people who are not married, how much it can break them because they're not under that covenant. So let's keep that in mind, guys. Okay, so the other thing is that I believe that men, your initial interaction with a woman, your default towards her or your default feeling should be to honor her. I also want to say that women should not try to seduce men. That's not, sis. Don't do it, okay? Because it might lead to some pleasurable moments at that time, but in the long run, it'll end in hurt, because that's really all it was. And if you try to go into something seducing somebody and thinking, oh, they'll get to know me, they'll get to like me, I mean, that might happen, but don't bank on it, right? So just don't do that. Just don't do it. Because then you're going to get mad at them, but really you was the one trying to pull them in. It's a whole thing. Just don't do it, right? So, I want to start off by saying, if you want to date or court somebody, or you want to be courted with somebody, this is the first rule, all right? This is the first thing that you should think about, you should consider. You should make this the first step before you date somebody, before you court somebody, before you be courted by somebody. Listen, okay? You cannot date anybody or court anybody without their permission, stalking is not okay. Okay? Stalking is not okay. They should know. Yeah, they should know. The feelings should be reciprocated. Yeah, okay? You can't be walking around here talking about you're in a relationship with somebody and they have no idea. That's not okay. That's also embarrassing. But it's not. Don't do that, right? Okay, so the first thing is when thinking about dating or courting somebody or taking that next step into doing that, take time to think if that person gives you life. Think about, like in Song of Solomon, he was basically he was speaking to her insecurities. He was speaking to things that she didn't feel worthy of or felt worthy within herself. He spoke to those things and poured out those things to kind of raise her self-esteem in a way. So is this person that you're considering, do they speak to your calling? Do they speak to your gifting, your assignment, the purpose and plans that God has for your life? Do they pour into that? Do they push you to grow you? Or are they really just like draining you? If this person drains you on the regular, they don't understand the calling that God has placed on your life, they don't feed what God has for you, I'm just saying. So you definitely want to take into consideration if this person gives life and makes that type of impact on your life. The next one is if this person disrupts your godly counsel, the spirit of your godly counsel, you might want to take a pause on it. And when I say this, it's very important to know that a lot of people have somebody that they go to that God has led them to talk to or to confide in. This person may not always be the person that you're supposed to talk to about this specific thing. So what I would say is to go to God and ask him what you should do, who you should talk to, because everything is not for everybody. And that's just facts. So, but I would say if this person disrupts the spirit of your godly counsel, you might want to take a break and figure out why, or ask them why, or try to, understand what's going on. Because this person, like in Song of Solomon, her friends weren't like, oh no, I don't agree with his heart posture with you. I feel like he's going to try to do this to you. I feel like your heart posture isn't in the right place. I feel like y'all just want this for sex, nothing more. Y'all just doing this. So if it gets to that type of thing, if you somebody's friend, you should speak up and say that. Also, you don't go out here trying to find friends just because they agree with what you're doing. The yes men are not going to have your best interest at heart all the time. They're not. They're just going to say yes because it's you, and that's just what they want to do. So, don't go out and find those types of people. There's no growth there. Okay. There's no growth if everybody's just saying yes to everything that you do. It's not realistic. Okay. Basic. And other thing is, does this person think about you? That seems real simple, right? Do they think about you? Do you think about them? In Song of Solomon, she said that he was like a pouch of myrrh in between her breasts. People like, oh my gosh, sex breasts. No. The pouch of myrrh was basically like perfume. So she was saying that he brought fragrance to her life. He brought like a pep in her step. She was in her happy place when she thought about him. Things of that nature, like he's the beauty of God's creation. It just made he made her feel good, and she thought very highly of this person, and she saw how he added to her life. He was thinking of her because he was like, hey sis, you like Pharaoh's mares out here. And if you research, Pharaoh's mares were like the best ones. I mean, it's Pharaoh. It was like the best ones out here. Long flowy hair, white, and the mares have long flowy hair. So he thought about her. He thought very highly of her and all these things. So do you guys think about each other often? Are your actions towards each other purposeful? Can you take it or leave it? If you can take or leave the relationship, I would say leave it, honestly, because I don't want to be in no relationship with somebody who could take or leave me. I want you to want me, okay? Hello. Why would I want you to be like, look, I could take or leave this thing? What? No, then leave it, sis, right? So if you can take it or leave it, figure out why you can take it or leave it, and figure out if that's worth, even pursuing. Are you considerate of the other person? Do you consider them when you go to God? Do you consider them when you make certain decisions? Do you consider their feelings? Like things of that nature. You don't just out of sight, out of mind. You're not thinking of them at all. That's just not okay. Do you miss them when you're away? That type of, warm, fuzzy stuff, But, yeah, this video kind of went over a little bit. There was a lot of information to kind of pack in there. But, basically just think of those, what was it, like 3 things? Do they have a life-giving impact? Are they approved by your godly counsel? Do you think of them? Do they think of you? How do you think of them, or how do they think of you? And don't date people who don't know you're dating them. Okay, so that was it for today. I'll try to get a video out sooner than this one because it's been like a month and I didn't realize it. So, yeah. So this was this installment of Get Your Life. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.